The pause is one of the most powerful tools you could utilize when you speak. You see what I just did there? When you pause mid-sentence, when you're giving a talk, right? You give time for the listener to process exactly what you're saying. And at the same time, you get to process as well what you're going to say next. You get to think about what you're going to say next, right? You get to structure your thoughts. You speak more clearly, concisely, and in a more effective manner. Another powerful thing about the pause is that it communicates confidence. It communicates power. You know, you are comfortable with sitting in silence because not a lot of people can sit in silence, right? They get a bit nervous. They get agitated, man, because they're constantly thinking and worrying about what the other person might be thinking of them, right? Once you can learn how to pause more and how to be comfortable in silence, to let it simmer, as Michael Jackson, one of the GOATs, says, to let your words simmer. The ball is now in your court. You control the rhythm, the social rhythm, right? The power is in your hands. Silence is literally power. Silence is power, man. It's as simple as that. Simple as that, bro. That is how important the pause is. And it makes a huge difference. It makes a huge difference in the way you speak. You come off as a more confident speaker. You speak with more conviction. And you reduce the amount of conjunction that you use, the amount of random words that you use to fill in the silence, which ruins the clarity. It makes you look less sure, right? When you say like, but, see how I sounded there? I sounded a bit confused, right? The more you can reduce the ahs, the ums, the buts, the likes, the more sure you'll sound, the more stable you'll sound. People will trust you more. And you develop this presence, this aura, right? You develop the aura, bro. It's powerful. The pause is so powerful. And once you can learn to utilize it in your speech, it makes so much difference. Think about how the king, right? Think about how kings speak. They don't go on rambling and searching for words, right? They leave that to the fucking spokesman or whatever. They leave it to the gestures or the prophet or I don't know, some shit. The priests, right? They let this priest do all the talking. The king just gives like one line, like, I don't know, off with his head or some shit. And everybody just follows along, like they listen to his orders. That's how you should be speaking, man. You gotta be comfortable with silence. Utilize the pause. And I'm not saying that I am the master in this, that I'm an elite speaker. I'm definitely not. I'm far from it, actually. But ever since I started utilizing the pause, I've gotten so many more compliments, so much more validation that my speaking has improved. And I could even see it in myself. If you go back and watch my older videos, which I don't think I've posted on this channel yet, you'd see the difference. You'd see the difference, man. So if you want to sound more confident, if you want to sound more royal, if you want to have that poise, that social poise, you gotta utilize the pause, broski. Love you guys. Hope to see you in the next one. Subscribe to this channel if you are down to see the journey. If you want to see me get better at speaking. And yeah, man, can't wait to see where this takes me in a few years. Love you guys. Goodbye.